3rd, 2014, to consider a liquor license and special entertainment permit for the Knights of Columbus. Is there anyone for or against the application for a liquor license and special entertainment permit for the Knights of Columbus? Is there anyone for or against the application for a liquor license and special entertainment permit for the Knights of Columbus? Is there anyone for or against the application for a liquor license and special entertainment permit for the Knights of Columbus? Hearing no comments, I will close the public hearing at 16:32 p.m. I will call to order the Board of Select People's meeting at 16:33 p.m. Tuesday, March 3, 2015. We have some board minutes of January 20, 2015. Ivan was not here present, so,
You won't have enough.
but he can second it for discussion purposes, but we both have to vote in favor for the defense. I checked for on the Robert's rules on that.
So two of you can pass it?
Yes, because we're a quorum of 3, but he can second it for discussion. So you have to make the motion, and he has to second it just for discussion. You have to abstain from voting because he wasn't present for the meeting.
Okay, so if I want to, if there's, like, say, I want to make, there's something I want to point out.
Then we both have to go in coordinates, you,
Okay.
and then I'll say yes, and then we both have to vote. And
Okay.
2 of us have to vote. If we want to table it, we can table it, but it's up to you guys. I'm just throwing it
No,
out.
so I motion that we look at the minutes for the January 20 meeting and discuss any changes.
Yes, that's good.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. I went through and I didn't see anything that's... Did anything jump out at you?
I've got a few, yeah.
Okay.
I guess my first question is, maybe it's just a general one. When we have, I guess I'm wondering what the process is. We have, Sherry takes the minutes, and then from there she'll type up the minutes, and then at that point, do they get handed to us?
No.
Or,
They get gone over first by Christine, and then Christine goes over them with myself.
okay,
And then they get brought back to us.
then they get brought back.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, there's just a few things I'd like to point out.
Okay.
Well, number one, if that's the case, then maybe that should be documented on there, because if you look, it says recording secretary, Sherry Pelletier, so in fact, it would appear that she's the one that, or the only one that's presented it, and if you guys are looking at it and making edits, then you should probably document that, you know what I mean?
But she is the recording secretary.
But I'm saying we should probably add a line that says, you know, edits done by town manager and chairman. And I'm just wondering, because if there are...
There are some situations where it doesn't go through anybody else. It goes right to
Okay.
her and it comes directly to us.
Okay.
So, out of formality, now correct me if I'm wrong, Christine, that's past precedence, what we've been doing
Yeah,
for
that's what the
as long
board
as I've
had
been on.
wanted to do. For a while, I passed them straight through, and they found that there were omissions and
mistakes.
things, too many mistakes, and they asked if I review them before. And then you always have the right to review them and make comments on them when they're given to you, but it's more of an editing thing.
Okay. Well, to turn to things that I brought to, like, caught my eye. Page 6. Actually, no, we'll start on page 5. Under Article 2, the last, first paragraph, last sentence, says the application will be 90% complete once Susie receives the letters. That's not what I was saying. I said the application appears to be 90% complete.
Okay.
Small change. The next page on the top.
You following with us on that?
Yep.
Okay.
next page on the top, there's a sentence there. It says, Chairperson stated that Susie's doing a great job to receive Business Friendly Community Award and would be a good addition to the town's website. For some reason, I don't recall that ever even being said.
No, I did say, remember I said she's doing a good job, but I didn't go through in the town website. I remember saying that she's doing a good job, but I didn't award the good addition to the town website.
We'll come back to that.
You want
Keep-
Sherry just to check it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Can you go through the minutes and just check that one? I remember, you know, this a couple of weeks back, but I remember saying, yes, she's doing a good job.
my main reason that I've got a lot is because this next one here, the motion made. It says motion made by Select Person Carter that the board discuss and establish a list of goals for the town, and once the board agrees on the list, they can present them to the town manager. What was actually said was, once the board agrees on a list, they will hand over these goals to the town manager to execute. That was the motion. And then it says seconded by a Select Person Moore, and this is motion failed, but in fact it passed.
Can you check again on that one? So technically, we're gonna have to table these minutes in checking out these few items.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then, the motion made by, on bottom of page 7.
Yep.
Motion made by Select Person Moore to raise another $170,000 for a hot top account, seconded by Select Person Carter, and says no vote was taken. There was actually a vote taken and everyone was in favor. There just seems to be a lot of errors in this one. That's why I had asked what the process was at first. So in this particular one, I'm just wondering.
But that one for $170,000, that has to be put on a warrant.
That's what the motion was for, was to see if it would get put on a warrant. And there was a vote taken, and it was unanimous. All was in favor.
We'll check on,
These things that Sherry, check it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to
I mean,
record
in fact, just so you guys know, the reason why I'm so descriptive on it is because for the one where it said motion failed on the board coming up with a list of goals for the town, and I mean, that really made me second guess my sanity, you know what I mean? Because it didn't make any sense to me, so I actually went to Channel 16, I looked at the past meeting, and that's where I got my notes from, so, I mean, you can definitely double check it, I've got it here too, yeah.
Okay. What we'll do is if you can highlight and keep it on the computer, those little, and I want to
Yeah.
listen to it also.
And then the, under the portion where we were talking about improved enhanced communications under number 4,
Yes.
on number 8, there was, I mean, I did say that I would like to see us paying taxes and dog registration online. There were some other items there, I don't know if you want to list those, if that was important or not, but there was super bills, bow registration, ATV, vehicle, hunting and fishing license, all that was kind of listed out.
Yes.
And then, under the second paragraph, or the next paragraph, it says the town manager responded, we could use PayPal to pay the taxes. That should be taken out. Because, I mean, when you do review it, you'll see that, I mean, the response was, it's, using PayPal to pay taxes will create an issue. You can review that, but that should definitely be taken out. And then the last thing I had was, before we adjourned the meeting, we had checked with Sherry and had her list off all of the items that we had on the list.
Yes.
And I'd like for that should be listed in here as well. We had number 1 was the hot top, and number 2 was the,
1, 2, 3, and we're in the middle of 3 and 4.
Yeah.
We stopped on 4.
yeah. There was number 2 was to maintain the same budget except for hot top increase. Do not go over 17.9 mil. And these are our goals. These were goals that we were trying to come up with for the town. And then the third one was the website to to have more online services, and then we talked about having Bob Willett with his helpful hints
Yep.
as the YouTube links, and then having our meetings be a potential link,
So-
clickable YouTube link.
What we should do is we should table this.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna vote, and we'll have the motion fail, and then I'll have you make another motion, table it till the next meeting to have the review done by Sherry,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll go through and we'll check all the stuff back and forth.
I mean, I'm just wondering, this one here, I mean, not that it matters, but I'm just wondering how, did this one go through the process? I know you said you reviewed it and you didn't see any issues with it.
I didn't, after it went to Christine, I didn't review it. I'm seeing it in my package for the first time the other night.
Okay.
So we got the packages on Friday, the first time I seen it.
So Christine, you had reviewed it as well?
I review for Epping areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't review it word for word
Word.
by the tape. I look
Okay.
at what she's put in there, and if something stands out that's incorrect or something, I'll say, no, you need to fix this or rewrite this to encompass this. But we don't generally list things line by line. If you want those, you need to
Go to the recording.
just say specifically that you'd like them there,
Just-
and have
just-
Sherry research exactly what was said, because we don't do verbatim.
Okay.
Just like the one with all the different things, more things online. We discussed probably 20 things to put online. She put a general description.
That's all right?
So usually, on her discretion, if there's 20 things, she get the meat of it.
Yeah, you know, that way, I wouldn't necessarily list them probably if I think I would, but various office procedures could be conducted online. So, it's
Yeah.
a general summary, so specific things you want bulleted or pointed out, you just need to bring it up, and Sherry can check and put it in there.
Okay. So I'll motion that we do not approve the minutes.
I
Okay.
say all in favor, and no hands up, motion fails. So now's your time to make a motion and table it till next week to review
Yeah.
the changes and get the digital tape to check them.
Okay. So motion that we postpone the approval of these minutes until the next meeting so we could review the edited copy.
Do I have a second? Any more discussion? All in favor? Now Skip, you can vote on this one too. Even if you weren't here, just voting to table it.
I can't vote on it if I wasn't present.
No, but you're voting to table it for the next week. That's protocol on that one.
No, I'm abstaining.
Okay. We have 2 for and one abstains.
So the default, so we review it next.
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. It passed anyways to review it next week. Okay. Okay. Do we have any articles we want to take out of order tonight? We want to
I don't know
bring?
if you want to speak to the people who are here or not.
Okay. I can see everybody's here for public participation. What we're going to do is, well, you guys want to bring the public participation? Ed, Chad, Skip? Okay. Why don't we do the public participation now, because I think 3/4 of the people's here for this. And I would assume that it's all for the sewer charges that you received? Okay. Who is here for the sewer charge? Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What questions, I know the young ladies were speaking to me earlier. We pulled up the sewer charge where it's called a standby fee. And if there's a stub and the pipe passes, you will receive that fee, even if you do not use it. Okay.
Is that something that water's supposed to go through?
Not for the standby fee. Now, and trust me when I say I get hit worse than anybody on this one, because all my vacant lots. And the T passes as a stub fee, and no matter if I'm not using it at all, I pay. So, I know, and Christine, if I'm correct in saying this is every 6 months?
Yes.
No.
Every 6 months?
Every 6 months we're gonna pay this amount.
Yes, ma'am. Well, this ordinance was done, I got a June of 2012, am I correct in saying that it was done in 2012? or is
I
revised?
believe it was in the original ordinance. The ordinance was redone in 2012. A lot of that was in regards to DEP and the cost of the upgrades and things that needed to be done. The ordinance was redone, and then put it into the system, and this is the first billing that has gone out. So,
Okay, okay.
I said it was in the old one, but they never enforced it. And when we got the money back for the upgrades and things in town, DEP wanted us to upgrade and work on our ordinance, so that's what we did. And this is the first time the billing went out under the new ordinance, but it was actually adopted in 2012.
What were you doing before that? That you were doing this now?
It was never enforced.
Never enforced.
Okay, like define like your stuff.
We have
You
some
have
people,
to connect to it.
no. I have I have a lot that's, 2 lots that are not connected at all. I got a lot with a house burnt on it, and I'm still paying. Is it a buildable lot? Is there a stub connection on that lot? If I'm correct in saying that, or?
The best way I can explain it for what other towns and here that they look at it is you have to maintain the pipes and you have to pay the debt service on putting the pipes there, whether you're tied in or not. You have access to the pipe. So they call it a standby fee because the service is ready for you to use at any time. So it's more, as I tried to explain to some, it's more as if you put a septic, took a loan and put a septic on your house lot, and you moved out, you still would have to pay the loan on the septic. Although we still pay for the maintenance of those lines. So that's how most places view it. A standby fee is the debt service on the lines and the maintenance of the lines, even though you're not being charged for flow, you're being charged for that portion of it. So I don't know if that helps you at all for background.
So if you choose not to have it, I don't have a choice.
Don't have a choice. No, sir.
The pipe is in the street that runs by your property.
Yeah, I understand that, but
And what that fee is doing is paying for the distance that the pipe runs by your property.
The maintenance upgrade, yeah.
The maintenance and upgrades of that pipe that falls by your property.
Or if something
guys-
happened,
You guys are only responsible for property line. You guys are not talking about property line.
You're, s-
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
yes, we're only
Your
responsible
pipe-
on that T on the main line.
yeah, but it's still not onto the property. I mean,
No, that's correct.
No, but you're still, you have to pay for the maintenance of the pipe going by your property.
well, because if something happens to that pipe and if it's on your side of the property line, you're responsible for it. If it's on the other side, you guys are responsible.
That's correct.
The ratepayers are responsible for all.
Yeah, the ratepayers.
That's what the fees for.
Ma'am, you had another question?
you said that's what the fee is for? So this money is gonna go towards that?
It goes towards the debt service and the maintaining that pipe that runs by your house,
That's correct.
whether you're using it or not.
He explained it before.
The ratepayers.
The ratepayers.
They're paying a higher fee for the pipe going by your house. Somebody else is paying for the fee that's going by your house.
It was just never built out, and according to the ordinance, it's supposed to be built out. How it was factored in.
So at that rate, the other ratepayers were paying for it. The other people on the sewer system. I guess it was using.
But it's
But
not,
that's figured into it.
it's not a user fee. The people that are using it are getting billed. For how many gallons of water they put through, they get billed equally for the sewer. So this is a standby fee. When the pipes were redone, it's like the debt ratio. It goes by your house. You have the accessibility to connect up, okay? Now, it was factored into the plan saying, okay, every person on the system has to pay certain fees for the maintenance fee to take care of those pipes. There's no way around it. And I'm paying, if I counted it out, I'm paying 4 right now here in Madawaska.
You said the ordinance, who created that ordinance?
The town created this. It had to be voted on, if I'm correct on that, Christine, a public
Yes.
meeting and everything, part of public hearing.
Yeah, it was just,
It can be changed, But what happens is, okay, how many, there's probably, I'm gonna say probably 100 maybe that are paying this vacant lot fees, or now how many other sewer users paying their regular fee, do they want to pick up the other person's side of it? You're seeing one side of the coin right now. There's probably more people on the other side saying, look, we don't want our sewer rates to go up to pay for these people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right now, you got the user fees and you have the standby fees. Standby fees for the people that's just stubbed out, maybe not connected, or maybe connected, not being used. The user fee is what, 3 or 4 of my buildings, every month we use water, we get billed for it. So, if it was changed, the sewer department has to make up the money somewhere. So, they're probably going to adjust the rates on the regular user side. Now, there's a big basis of regular users, and I would have to say there's more on that side than on this side. So they're not going to want to foot the bill for somebody else that should be paying anyways. That's my assumption. Could be wrong in saying that. I don't know that. But it's like saying, asking somebody to pay your parking ticket or cleaning your snow in your road. I know everybody's coming here, you have a bill. Well, yeah, an extra thing, yeah.
You know, it's
20 lines that I'm paying for, and I don't mind paying for them because they're being used. It's not a problem, the one that's not being used.
no,
I understood
look,
that
maybe if people look at it this way, that pipe is running by your house, that fee that you're paying is an insurance type thing, because if your septic system fails, you won't be allowed to put a new septic system in, you will be required to clean the sewer.
But
So having that pipe go by your house is an insurance that you'll have somewhere to go if your septic system fails.
When you've got some water lines going up and down St. David now, are they paying for that water to be in that road? Using it.
that's a thing you should bring up with the water district.
It's the principle.
No, but it's not,
No,
sewers,
The sewer line passes there, so,
it's thing different between the water district and the sewer district.
you know, but
The ordinance is the town.
No,
not the town.
But we do not own the water district. So that's something, if you have a question on how the water district does their stuff, that should be brought up to the water district, not to the town here.
but in St. David, there's a sewer line that goes, you know, quite a ways, but not everybody's hooked up to it. Are they being charged?
Yeah. I would assume that they're getting the same standby fee you get.
No, they have their own septic.
That don't make any difference. If the pipe goes by, you still have to pay the standby fee. If the pipe is
Yeah, but
in the street.
T's not there. Going back to the T, the T's not there. The T's not put.
How do you know the T's not there when they put the pipe in? Were you there when they put the pipe in?
Okay. We're getting a little bit, we're getting a little bit off track. See, there's, in this thing, if they're so many feet away from the road, they have a choice to hook up or not. So depending on how it was set up in different areas for different pipelines, depending what the fee is. But here in town, and I'm all presuming you guys are all in town, you got billed for these lots.
Okay.
You live in Frenchville? You live in Madawaska, right, sir? Okay.
I
So,
don't want to include the lake, because I don't understand, that's why I'm saying.
understand, but you're there where there's a T on that line, and there's a standby fee. What would you like us to do, Mr. Dufour? And I'm asking.
Well, I was always told that you're paying the user fee because the water going through your water lines goes into the sewer, and you're based on your water. So you're being charged for the use, not the pipe. That's what I always understood. Because it's based on the use.
That is half correct,
I'm told it's just half the truth.
but you're paying for that pipe to go by your house, okay? Now, you have buildable lots there, am I correct? The lot that you're getting charged with for this standby fee, it's a buildable lot, am I correct? You're planning to sell it, okay? Well, you build or sell something in the future, so put a trailer on it or something. So there's gonna be servicing there in the future.
Nobody moving into town, they're all moving out of town. That's my problem. I got 3 empty lots, it's been empty for years. This is where Madawaska is going. punishing us or charging us for people moving out of town.
I can feel for what you're saying, sir. Because, like I said, I'm paying for 4. And I'm biting my tongue because I'm in the same situation. I have a buildable lot. I'm not building anything now, but I'm still paying for the time period. So, the only thing that could be done is this be brought up at a public meeting, public hearing. We can discuss it. And probably put an article on the agenda to have it voted one way or another. That could be done. Through this, it would have to be gone, not through the planning board, it would have to be brought up to the Board of Selectmen,
You just have a public hearing.
public hearing, yeah.
And then if you wanted to, you could put it forward at town meeting whether or not they wanted to change it. But after the public hearing, you would have to decide if you wanted to propose changes or not.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I'd like to bring your attention to bring it up to the board, that's why we're here.
Do you guys want to vote to put it on the next meeting and discuss it when we have a full board?
Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause this is
There's
public
definitely some
participation.
concern, yeah.
Would you like to do that? Yeah. Yeah. Do one of you want to make a motion that we bring this up at the next board meeting, put it on the agenda?
Yeah, make a motion that we bring up the sewer user charges at our next meeting, so we can discuss it further.
Do I have a second? Any more discussion? What we're looking at doing, voting and putting on the agenda for the next meeting. So then everybody comes back again, we're gonna discuss it when we have, I'd like to have a full board here, 5 board members. We do have a quorum today, but I'd like to have everybody's input. Then we can discuss it, put it up to public hearing, talk about it more, and go from there. From public hearing, public meeting, public hearing, then we gotta go up and put it to vote. Now, it might pass everywhere's up, and then at a regular vote, it fails. So that's how the politics work. And I understand, and trust me when I say I know how you feel, because I get a bunch in the same situation.
You're gonna be on our side? Just asking.
I'm,
Yeah.
but you say that, if, I look at it this way, if I don't pay it this side, I'm gonna still pay my user fees. So no matter which way, I'm gonna lose the money one way or another. That's how I look at it. As a taxpayer, I know the bill has to be paid. So if I pay it on my vacant lots, or I pay it on all my buildings, I'm consuming sewer, water, which converts to sewer charges, I'm gonna pay the rate anyways. So at the end of the day, I can see for somebody that just had one vacant lot, no building, yes. But from my point of view, and like I told you earlier, ma'am, I'm stuck. I know it has to be paid. Town needs the money to survive, and I understand that. So when you say sides, I lose either way. So I'm caught between that one. But and I appreciate you all coming here today, because we did get a lot of phone calls. And I appreciate you speaking, because I know the ladies in the office here had phone calls for the last 2 weeks and back and forth, and they're trying to explain it to the best of their knowledge. And it's catchy, you know what I mean? And then when it just comes up after a couple of years in the billing system, just like the situation with the floor drains, it's going to come to a point where we're going to start billing for the floor drains that go into the sewer. That's another one that we should have been billing 5 or 6 years ago. So that's going to be another issue coming up. So, is there any more discussion on this? Okay, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you very much. Is there anybody here for any other subject for public participation? Mr. Kerr?
Last week I talked to you about microphones, and we put a year left going on.
Yes.
And you said it would cost $3,000 for system over here.
If you give me 15 minutes, Mr. Kerr, we're going to get to that. I get into new business, and I discussed it a little bit with Mr. Carter, Selectman Carter here, and I feel if you give me a little bit, I'm going to answer your questions.
I've got some information.
Okay. If you give us a little bit, once we get to that part, I put it under because I want to talk to Mr. Carter on what solutions, and then we're going to get right to that. Okay. Is there anybody else here for public participation?
So we should pay this before we do everything down to manage that bill.
We have no choice, ma'am, but you have to pay that bill for this year. And if it gets changed, it's probably gonna only go into the next yearly cycle. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Article 1, bills and warrants. Did we sign everything? And then we have the liquor license and special entertainment permit for the Knights of Columbus also. Yes. Do you have a motion to accept the liquor license? Okay, do you have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion on it?
No.
All in favor? Motion carries. Sorry about that. Everything has been signed. Reports and correspondences. Article 1, Town Manager's Report.
I don't know if you guys had any questions or if you submitted any response on the unfunded mandate thing. The date went by and nothing was mentioned on it. Didn't get anything.
I talked about it when I was down in Augusta.
Yeah.
They asked me if I wanted to talk a little bit, and I said a few sentences on it. But I didn't have anything to rebuttal after I read everything.
I guess I was just wondering if the board at some point wanted to look at them in any more detail on what exactly they require us to do, what they need, so,
Those are things you handed out.
Yes.
I read them.
yeah.
If the state funded all those unfunded mandates.
We have plenty of money.
Yeah, we would, yeah.
Or they got rid of half of them, we might be doing all right.
Then the state would have to come up with some money somewhere, so it's one of those catch-22. If you don't pay for them here, you gotta pay for
Yeah,
them
one way or another.
Should have received your excise tax reconciliation.
Yep.
I want to talk about an article that brought to my attention a while back, and then I was down with the state, and I asked her to be put on the agenda, but Sherry didn't see her note when she was putting stuff together on it, so we had somebody who had contacted me once again about the Rosado's equipment. They had gone in and looked at the freezers and wanted to know if they could buy it. I think we need to decide if we're gonna do something with that building, whether it be, yeah. Because I've had several requests now, and the board had made a ruling that we're not gonna sell the equipment. So, are we gonna put it out to advertise for the building as a whole, or do you want to consider selling it, because I get requests, so.
I remember I spoke highly on that because I wanted to try to sell it as a business, 2 years ago. And we haven't.
I'd say if
So-
somebody wants to buy it, sell it.
I agree. Now, with that process, is that just up for bid, or is that how do they go about purchasing that equipment?
We can accept bids on it. We can put it out for a bid, sealed bid. I think you got 2 or 3 people interested in parts of it.
Over time, they've entertained it, but I don't know if others have found other options in the meantime, but I would highly suggest that we don't just entertain bids, because if we don't do a formal bid process, somebody can say, well, they didn't know and they would have put one in.
That's right.
Um,
You gotta put,
and-
I've been a firm believer that all along, anything that the town owns and we sell has to go for bids, and I'll stay behind that.
So.
I agree.
So what you're saying, Skip, you want me to go down there, do an inventory of all the equipment we have, make up a bid sheet like I did with the military stuff, and put it out?
Yeah,
I
So-
think that's the best.
So that's your motion?
yeah, so,
Okay, second?
Second.
Any-
We gotta put an option to do the equipment and the building,
Building.
either together or separate.
yeah.
Combined?
So
or-
that you have the right to pick and choose if you don't get a bid on the whole building, that you wanna accept that you get equipment bids.
Right. Yeah, let's do that. We would do that.
Yeah.
No, I agree, because we've been trying for 2 years and just, so if we
Well,
can,
if we take it off a bid, at least we get something, it goes back from the cash flow.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, any more discussion?
No.
All in favor? Motion carries? Yeah.
Give you a copy, you should have a copy of the new status report for wood insurance. Did you get that in your packet?
No.
Okay, maybe these are the ones that didn't get copied then. Did you get anything on someone who might be interested in holding a driving academy here in Maine?
Nope.
I'll get those in your mailbox.
Okay.
One that they wanted to host it here for a commercial driving academy. It's an 8-week course. We have a piece of property that's a vacant area that they were interested in using. Do you have any problem with them using it if they provide proper insurance?
What piece of property is it?
It's down in front of police control,
Okay, no.
a big open lot.
Are they looking just for cars or motorcycles too?
No,
Commercial.
Commercial trucks?
commercial.
Okay, no, be a good idea.
As long as they provide the insurance.
It's acceptable to me. You want a motion on that?
Just, yeah, if you don't mind, they just, it's getting so that the outfits can't find drivers, and as more retire, there's a shortage of drivers in Maine, and they're looking to host some classes to get some people, employees ready to take these jobs, so we'd like to host one here in the valley, and they drove around, and they thought that site might be suitable, so.
Have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Motion carries?
Get you a copy of the status report, but Brent Bridges is supposed to be here for the next meeting
On 17th?
on the 17th to give an update and go through the sewer projects, what we've accomplished and what is going out in this new bid spec. I will tell you, I know Vince, you were there and Dave was at the public hearing on that piece. There was a suggestion to package the water. However, the timing of the CDBG grant is such that the water district isn't going to know if they're getting the money or not. And if they don't have the money, they don't have the money to complete the design. So you can't go out to bid without a design. They don't have the footage or the connections or anything. So I asked Brent to add wording to it to say that these water work may be added underneath the contract at a later date. That way at least it leaves the door open that if you have a contractor who's got the bid, saving the mobilization, the re-advertisement, and things of that nature, if they could do it cost effectively. And if CDBG will allow it to be packaged in that way, because they're very specific. So that's what we're looking at right now, but the short time frame on our EDA money to finish up, we can't stall ours.
Can't stall ours, yeah.
So we hope to line it up better, but the grant process for that and the grant ending for ours don't play out together very well. We have to be done by the end of June, I think, with our portion of money, so just I'm sure he'll go over that when he's here, but that's where we're at that, and that should be going out to bid shortly.
Any other reports? Any other selectmen? I went down to Augusta 2 weeks ago. I spoke in front of the Appropriations Committee for the governor's plan cuts. If the governor gets anything of what he wants, it's going to be crucial to the town. A lot of people don't realize, but I think we add up the total of all the proposed cuts he's looking at doing, it might affect us around $750,000, approximately 3 mils. That is detrimental to us. So there was a lot of the townships that went down and spoke also. And we're one of those towns that get hit twice because we have one big business in town, which is the paper mill. And with the Better to Betty conversion on that, and homestead and revenue sharing, if we get hit on all 3 of them, it's going to hurt. So we're looking at doing our budget right now. We're looking at what we have. But if those proposed cuts go through legislation the way the governor wants them, we're going to have to go back to the tables and look at different things where to cut. So in the next few months here, there's a lot of weight on the selectmen and select people to decide what to do. So we went and spoke. Our representative Danny Martin's working on a few things also from Fort Kent. John Martin's also working on a few things. But if it goes through, we're even looking at, and I just want to tell the public here and let people know we're looking at a lot more things. We're going to have to cut on services, cut on positions, right on down. We're going to slim down more than what we're at right now. Okay, under new business, we have 2 code violations. We got Article 1, code violation, map 17, lot 21A. I know that, Bob, if you want to.
The first one is this is Charles Delta here, he's the owner of this property, and I noticed there was a box trailer there that appeared to be on the block, so I wrote on that ordinance that it was used, and he was using it for storage. And in my checking through the property card, I didn't see it on the property card at all, so he hasn't been taxed for it. And the earliest time that I see it on the card is in 2011. So, and there was no building permit or land use permit issued for that trailer box and storage. So Charles is here tonight, and he can inside of the trailer.
Is there wheels under the trailer, or the wheels have been cut off? Is the setbacks to where
I didn't give him a land use application, but I told him that, you know, if whatever happens here tonight, he's going to stay on the property, he's going to fill out the application, and the setbacks got to be correct.
okay. Is he, what type of property is he over there, Bob? Is it
Rural farm.
rural farm?
Yeah.
So the setbacks, the sidelines are 30, 30, and 30?
Well, usually they're 30, 30.
Okay.
And, you know, I don't know if they need it, but they're not there yet, so.
Okay,
Mr. Pelzer.
I don't know what year I put it in there. The year I did put it in, I didn't even think building permit, to be very honest, but I did call the tax assessor with the town of Madawaska, so considering even it on wheels, I heard that you don't get taxed. And I talked, and I don't even remember who I talked to be very honest, and he said, you're gonna get taxed about $100 either way, whether you have wheels on it or not. So I said, I'd rather take the wheels off, it's more convenient for me. So that's the story, there's not much else to it. As far as setbacks, I believe I'm all set, and conveniently, my neighbor behind me, on Iowa 30 feet, he surveyed the line, and pretty sure we're good on setbacks. But that could be discussed later.
The reason why I asked is because make sure you meet the setbacks, because if the board deems, give you an after-the-fact permit, you know what I mean? and allow you to keep there, we're gonna make sure you meet the setbacks.
Right.
Put it, you fill in the regular.
Yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
I understand that. Yeah, I really don't have much else to say. Like I said, I've never thought of it. When I build something, I always get a permit, but I didn't build it.
Skip, do you have any questions? Okay, Chad, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. What do you guys want to do? Proceed with what we've been doing normally, after the fact permit? Fine but suspended?
And I've got a question for Charles before we make the decision. There's another little building next to it. Is that another shed?
Oh, it's not cabin, fishing
Oh,
cabin.
it's not.
Yeah. The other doors, side doors. Yeah, that's small. It's not very good there. Got catching the
Catching some worms?
hard on the blade.
They've been digging all winter.
No gold either.
So, you want to proceed that way? You have a motion? After the fact permit? Yep. And do you guys want to assess a fine but suspend it like we did in the last 3 cases? So we can treat everybody equal?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing.
Technically procedures, because there is a violation,
Yeah.
so we're supposed to fine you. So past precedents we've been doing with people with sheds, as long as they can come in, fill out an after the fact permit, meet the criteria, we've been imposing a fine of $250, suspending it, that you come in conformity. If you don't, then you're going to be fined the $250. So we're allowing you to do that, come in conformity, and paying double the price of regular permit for an after the fact permit. So that's what we,
How about the taxes on the 3 years? It's been there in 2011, so it's been 3 years.
now Christine, on the back taxes, that would be something with Randy, right?
We'll be up to Randy for a supplemental bill.
Okay. So,
So you may end up with a supplemental billing on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
No, that's fine. I mean,
you're gonna, fine's gonna get suspended, but you're probably gonna pay $300 for the back 3 years of taxes, just to bring you in accordance. Okay.
I plan on being fair. That's fair.
So what we're gonna do is oppose a after the fact permit, go to Bob to bring you in compliance, $250 fine, suspended, and then we're gonna refer it to Randy Tarr for the back taxes or supplementary tax. Okay. Do I have a motion, Skip? Second?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you.
We're gonna move, the second one, I guess the gentleman's here. Did you guys do this at the same time?
No, I just put mine in. I probably stirred up all the pictures. No, and I probably gave him bad advice. I'm sorry.
So, the other one is right next door to Charles' place, and the owner of the property is Jesse Dion, and this is Brian. Get it? Okay, this is Dennis, this is his brother, and Jesse said that Dennis would represent him, so we have a mobile, a box trailer on the property with no land use permit application. And if you look at your notes, there was an old trailer there, a house trailer that has gone. There was an old barn that's gone too, so the only thing on that property there is that house trailer.
And you said you just put it there?
Yeah, that,
January of this or December, Christmas time, winter. Winter, because the guy delivered it, there was a snow covering it.
There's no wheels under it either?
No, I put it on the ground. I put it on the slab of the barn. Some of it's on the barn, the barn, wasn't that big, but part of it's on the slab.
when was it put on the ground? When you say snow, is it this snow here or last snow?
No, just look at. I was wrong when you took it.
Yeah, because the picture was taken in January 26, 2015.
Yeah, it could have been December, it could have been last year, it could have been December.
About last December. before.
Yeah.
Either January, beginning of January, I could find out. Yeah. Dawn's the one that's running.
No, I guess I'm just, I guess there's no tax issue here. It's just a
Just-
building without a permit.
Exactly. Same situation as Mr. Peltier, but we won't refer him to Randy Tar because it's gonna get caught in the next tax season.
Now, I got a question. Am I still being taxed for the barn and the trailer that was sitting there?
You
We
would,
acquired we bought the property, and that was sitting there, and I cleaned it up.
you would have to come in to see Randy Tar.
When was the bond that was taken down?
This past summer, I finished it.
So, yeah, it goes from, it starts in
April
April.
1st.
April.
So when you would have been billed for it till this fall.
Well, yeah, I understand that, but now I don't take it off, you know, I don't wanna get taxed for those things, they're not there anymore.
What you should do is come in and see Randy Tar.
I'll put this in his box and
Okay,
ask him to contact him about the new box trailer and the removal of the old.
Okay.
okay, that's the easiest way. So basically you heard what we talked to Mr. Peltier about. Is the board in agreement to do the same situation? So,
So,
okay, basically a motion to abstract permit, double the fee, and a $250 fine suspended. Consent agreement that he comes in compliance. Okay, all in favor? Motion carries. Do you have any questions, Bob? Do you have any questions? Okay. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Dennis, what's the best number for Randy to call you at?
Yeah, yeah,
No,
Oh, the number?
your number.
316-3415. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll send your brother a application.
Oh, I got, you want to fill it out? Or I got this one, I don't know if it's all filled out. Or I can do that. I measured it from the front of the line, like low slag.
Okay, yeah. Okay, this property line here is,
No, this part is all here, yeah, and the pine tree, that's the.
okay, where's the road? Yeah, here.
And the pond.
Yeah, that's on some of the, okay. Yeah, I'll give you guys, you have your number on that?
Yeah, you want to see what I know.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you both those.
All right, thank you.
Under unfinished business, we have the Article 1 response to the tax abatement request from Mr. Kayer. Okay. You were reading from the property tax abatement and appeals procedures the other day. Okay. Under subsection 842, notice of decision, you read the first paragraph. But if you went down to read the second paragraph in response, basically said the assessors or municipal officers before whom an application in writing for the abatement of tax pending fail to give written notice of their decision within 60 days from the date of filing of the application is deemed to have been denied, and the applicant may appeal as provided in section 843 and 844. So if we don't give you a response in writing 60 days from your application, it's considered denied. So basically, it doesn't stop your appeal process. You can go on and appeal if you like. By reading the next paragraph down, you had talked about written with,
Can I interrupt you a minute? 842 notice of the hearing.
yes,
The assessors or municipal officers shall. You understand what shall means?
but step down to the next paragraph. It's,
What you're saying is, we're not gonna follow the law.
listen what it's,
I'm telling you that you have to follow the law. If
Mr.
you don't wanna follow it, okay, you're telling me
Mi-
you don't have any
Mis-
intention to follow the
Mr.
law.
Kayer,
And that I have.
if you read what it says, fail to give written notice of the decision.
If you fail to do your job.
If we fail to give you
do your
notice,
job.
so basically it says within 60 days, it's deemed, what does it say? And I want you to read it.
Denied.
Denied. Exactly. So if we do not respond in writing, written notice, After 60 days from the time you filed it, it is denied,
Okay. And then what do I do?
point blank. Well, read on.
Read on?
Basically, it says it doesn't stop you.
Then I have to bring you to court, and that's what I'm gonna do. You wanna go to court again? Fine, we'll go to court.
Mr. Care,
We'll go to court.
you wanted a response.
And then I'm telling you what.
And I gave you a response.
Do your job, I'm gonna bring you to court.
Mr. Care, you asked me to research and give you a response, and I'm providing you with a response. Okay? That's one of the items you asked. Then you ask us on the other abatement. Okay?
Yeah, for the state valuation, the sales
Which
ratio.
board do I appeal it to? It says here that I can, you have to tell me which board. You're not gonna tell me which board? So in other words, I have to bring it to court. It says right here that you have to tell me which board to appeal it.
You
I
have
have
the
the
right.
right to appeal,
Yes, you do.
and you're not gonna give me my rights. You're gonna deny me my rights intentionally.
Mr. Care, we had it at a meeting. We voted on it not to prove your abatement. And it was done by the 5 people here. It was five votes for that. Okay?
But I found another one. Are you gonna do the same thing with the other one?
We're gonna review it and see if the board approves it or doesn't approve it, sir. Those are the 2 options. Okay?
And you're not gonna tell me, and then what do I do?
Well, from 60 days, you have the right to appeal.
Okay.
When are you gonna review the second abatement form?
You asked for questions for, you wanted information here, and I'm gonna give you this. The report of assessment review, okay? You had asked for that last meeting, if I'm correct. Okay. And do I have a spare copy, Christine?
For what?
I didn't steal
Yes,
it.
I gave you a
Yes.
ratio.
Is that done yearly, that assessment report?
I'm gonna look in the date when it was last done.
It's done
It's
yearly.
got 3 years on it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's done by the state of Maine.
2 years ago?
So 13, 14,
Yeah,
15.
13, 14, 15.
No, it wasn't done for you.
So it's the same report for 3 years, is that what you're saying? 13, 14?
No, they did comparison and contrast each year. So they're doing it in a block of 3 years to give you. And I'm not sure if next year they're gonna knock off 2013s and put 2016s, most probably they will. So they'll knock off the 3rd year and put the newer year on it. So you can go down and look at everything.
Now, are you gonna take that into consideration when you look at our second abatement form?
First, the abatement form will go to Randy Tarr, okay, for his recommendations. And correct me if I'm wrong, Christine, Randy usually goes through, checks all this stuff. He brings it up to us. And the board decides on it, either to go with his recommendations, or if we see something that's, wrong, or something that we feel we need more information, we ask. We could send it back down to Randy, it comes back up to us, and it goes from there. Then the board decides on it. There's usually, whenever we do the abatements, we like to have the 5 members here. Today we have 3 members. Next week we're gonna have 5 members here. So, excuse me,
Not next week, next meeting.
next meeting, excuse me. So we're gonna put you on the agenda for that abatement for next meeting.
And when are you going to discuss it? During the meeting?
We will bring it up and discuss it during the meeting. And we also have either written recommendations or the recommendations from Randy Tarr, which is our tax assessor.
Now, is he gonna give you a second recommendation, or go with the first recommendation that he gave?
That's up to him, ma'am.
What I'm asking, I guess, is he gonna see the second abatement form?
You mean the second request?
Yes,
Yes. The one that you just submitted, he will see that.
February 1st.
Okay, I wasn't aware of the date on it, but he will see that one, and he will review it. Then he will give his recommendations to the board.
But it's already been more than 30 days. The first 30 days, somebody just hid it somewhere. And now it's been 30 days. What you're telling me is the next meeting will be almost 60 days.
No,
and then I'll be on time with.
I would say the next
Because
meeting,
you're not going to answer.
I would say the next meeting will probably be about 45 days. Okay, just assuming give and take one day or another.
I'm going to file any court right now. If you people want to violate our constitutional rights and not do your job,
Mr. Kayer.
We'll file in court.
Mr. Kayer. Okay. This is going to be on the next agenda, and we're going to talk about it. So the next meeting, if I'm correct, is on the 17th?
Yes.
Now, all the board members gonna receive a copy of that second
They receive,
request?
it'll,
And will they be able to study it before the move, before they discuss it?
we get it in our package, yes, and we'll get a chance to review it prior to our next meeting. Whenever the selectmen get the whole package, just like we get the information package here. So usually it's put together Wednesday, Thursday, it's delivered, we get our package, we review it.
You all have it, except for two that I'm
Sure,
here. You already have it.
right now.
Okay. So some people are gonna get it tonight, some people will put it in their mailbox, they're gonna review it. So they're probably gonna have it for 2 weeks prior, give or take a few days prior to the next meeting.
Do they have the actual abatement form,
Uh,
or just a letter?
Would you get just a letter?
No, it's the application for abatement.
Yep.
There's 5.
You got 1, 2, 3,
The other ones were just the Januaries that you got in your last packet,
Okay.
whenever.
Yeah, we have them all.
That one's the, attached to that.
we have one here for 245 Lakeshore Drive.
Lakeshore Road. It's
Excuse
not
me.
Drive.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Lakeshore Drive is on Madawaska Lake. That's the mistake that you people do all the time.
And all the select people will have it, and they'll be able to review it. So it's all. Okay. I stole yours, right? Yeah, I went through, so I grabbed it. Okay. An answer to your second question of the other night about the speaker system and everything else. Okay. I talked with Selectman Carter here prior to the meeting, okay, about the mics, issue with the mics. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's it's definitely an ongoing issue. There's some new equipment on the way. It shouldn't be much more than, say, around $300. Yeah. There's a piece of equipment that I had ordered. It's going to be here tomorrow. And then after that, there's going to be a hanging microphone. It's a condenser mic that we're going to hang. For some reason, the current amplifier we have causes a buzz. And so we had to pick up a box that's in that area over there. And there's a 9-volt battery in there. And for some reason, when the battery goes out, the hum comes right back. So the equipment that we're ordering, or that we're going to get and try out, and if it works, it should be flawless, and it'll be up and running for the next meeting.
What's wrong with that equipment?
Well, we have
When your lapel and then your voice goes directly through the mic, and we don't hear the paper rustling and the air conditioner running and everything. That's technology up to date. Any channel that you go on to, that people are talking, they have these mics on there. There's a reason for that, because it works. Let's come up with the newest technology and get this done.
These
mics,
no, they actually work really good. They do. I mean, I'm just letting you know. It's the fact that the compression rate going from the mixer over there. I worked at WMTW Channel 8 for 4 years as an audio engineer. I'm just letting you know. I'm very much on it, and trust me, it makes my skin crawl when I put it on channel 16 and I hear it and there's a hum. And in fact, the audio is actually only coming out of the left channel. So this new equipment that we're getting, trust me, if it doesn't work, then yeah, we're going to scrap it and we can go to a lapel type system. But this is definitely adequate enough for what we're trying to achieve. It's just that, like I said, the battery failing over there, and the fact that audio is only coming out of one channel is and the fact that there's no mic over there, nobody can hear anybody talk in the crowd. That's on battery as well, and when the batteries go out, it fails. Well, plus that mic itself is made for maybe a circumference of around 2 or 3 feet. So a condenser microphone is more for like you see them at the school hanging from the stage, or you see them in churches hanging from over the choir.
Else in the world is wrong, and we're going to have an antique microphone in front of us. The rest of the world is wrong.
Mr.
No, not at all. It's just a different form. The reason why they use the lapel mic in the newscast is because it's you don't want this in the camera. So the lapel mic is a hidden microphone.
The thing is, when you rustle your papers in front of that mic.
The lapel mic will still pick it up.
No, not like we're hearing it.
That's okay. It'll be better, trust me.
You people, obviously, you don't want the people in that walk that you know what's going on. We can't even hear you talking over there.
Mr. Kerr, that's so far from the truth.
It's not, and it's not,
and-
what it
and
does,
I'm-
it causes a problem when people join boards. If they don't want to join the board, they have no idea what's going on. They never follow the
I'll
meeting.
explain something. That's so far from the truth, because I'm willing to, like I told Selectman Cartier, I don't care what it costs, I'll take it out of my own pocket, buy the equipment to get it running.
I'm not asking you to do that.
So when you say that, that's very hurtful, because I'd rather see it running, because I get people that call me up and say,
It's hurtful. Is it true that you people couldn't hear a while ago?
so,
It's true, isn't it?
so we're trying to do something about it, and we're trying to fix the problems. So,
It's actually pretty complicated. I'll give you even more of a breakdown. Not that it matters, but our sound will come out of the speakers. Do you hear it? And it's because if we put that any much more louder, it's going to come back in the microphone and create a feedback. There used to actually be speakers in the ceiling, but we had to take those off. So the way that we're going to be hooking it up with this new piece that's coming tomorrow.
I saw one of the selectmen years ago sitting over there. You know what he would do? When he wanted to talk, he'd go like this. That's what's going on.
Mr. Kerr, okay,
Can I motion? I mean, this
yes,
is...
motion move the point,
Yeah,
we'll carry on the
move
agenda.
point. I'm not doing this out of disrespect.